Hello, and welcome to this presentation and demonstration on a mortgage advice software built by LEIA Systems and LEIA software. This software is a fully integrated mortgage advice software which is built by both LEIA Systems and LEIA software. Currently, more than 70% of UK home buyers choose to use an intermediary over going direct to a lender. However, the current mortgage advice process is still slow, opaque and fragmented. LEIA and LEIA Systems are rolling out a new platform that uses blockchain technology to consolidate detailed consumer and property data and to bring together all the components of the mortgage application process into one unchangeable record of transaction. This results in a much more efficient, transparent and integrated service which satisfies compliance requirements and changing customer expectations, all while increasing the broker's revenue. In this presentation, I'm going to demonstrate a typical user journey for a broker creating and completing a basic mortgage application, also known as a case. Here is what we will cover: broker login and dashboard, creating a client, adding the customer information for the client, creating a new case, adding the property to be purchased, sourcing the mortgage product, completing all the compliance checks, generating a suitability report, and finally completing a case and submitting a request for payment. Each step of the process is validated in the smart contract and stored as a transaction on the blockchain using LEIA's LEIA platform. The compliance gates enforced by the smart contract prevent the case from progressing to the next stage until all predefined criteria have been met. Now we'll go ahead with the demonstration. Here the broker can log in using their credentials at the login page. I'm going to log in as a firm manager, which is the principal broker in a brokerage. The first thing the broker will see is the dashboard. From here, the user can quickly navigate to active cases sorted by case status. Let's go ahead and create a new client. By clicking here on the side menu, I can go to the Clients tab. Here I can see a list of all the clients I'm currently doing business with as a broker. They are sorted by name, email and phone number. If I click the blue button, I can create a new client. We can add in some basic client information straight away. We can add first name, surname, date of birth, and we need to capture at least one of the following: email address or phone number. I'll go ahead and add a phone number for now using dummy data. Click here to complete adding the client. Now we are taken through to the client overview page. Here we can see some basic client information as well as the cases that the client currently has. As you can see, we have not created a case yet. The first thing a broker must do is show an initial disclosure document, also known as an IDD. The initial disclosure document details to the customer the services provided by the broker, as well as the cost of those services, how they are regulated, how the customer can complain, and also any privacy notice. If the customer agrees to the above, they can go ahead and click here that the client has heard and accepted, and then click here to complete the initial disclosure. The document, as well as any other documents, are saved in the Documents tab, linked to the client. Now we can go ahead and add in some more customer information, also known to a broker as a fact find. As you can see, we can add some more granularity to the customer's profile. We can add gender, marital status, country of citizenship, expected retirement age, and much more. We can also add any other dependents by adding new clients or existing clients, such as a spouse or child. We can also add some more contact details, including address history. Let's go ahead and do that now. For this demonstration, I'm going to use fake data. We can add the address line, town and postcode. And for this purpose we'll say it's the current address and that they moved in 1st January 2000. We'll also say that this is a owner of the property and click Save Address. Perfect. Now we can move on to employment. Let's add the employment history of our client. For this client we'll assume that they are employed, they are permanently employed, and that they are an engine tester. We'll say that this is their current employment and they began this job around 2 years ago. We'll add some more information about the employer details. Again, we'll use some generic data. And we can finally add the gross annual salary. I'll put 45,000 for this client. We can also add additional income such as bonus, commission and many other things. Let's click Save and Close. Next up, we should add the financials for the client. We can add a bank account. In this instance, we'll add a current account. We'll add an account number, a sort code, and the time spent with the bank. Let's click Save and Close. Next up, we should add the amount of savings they have in this bank. Let's assume they have 40,000 savings. We can also add any deposits. This is used for the property, the mortgage product that they're going to buy. Here we'll assume they have some cash savings and we'll assume they have 30,000 ready to put down on deposit. Great. We're going to assume there are no commitments to this client, so no credit cards, store cards or loans. Next we'll move on to outgoings. Here we can list committed and discretionary expenditure. Committed expenditure is fixed expenditure such as monthly mortgage, maintenance and utilities bills. Let's put some data in for this. Great. Here in the monthly budget planner card on the side, it automatically populates the disposable income available to the client. Then we can agree on a monthly budget which is used to budget for the monthly payments that they'll have to pay on their mortgage product. Here we'll assume that they have 1,000 as an agreed monthly budget. We'll leave discretionary expenditure for now and move on to credit history. For credit history, the broker will ask the customer a series of questions to gauge whether they have previous credit history. For the purpose of this demo, we will select no for all of these. The questions involve asking whether they have a county court judgment issued against them, whether they've ever defaulted on the credit agreement, been declared bankrupt, entered into a debt management program, and many other questions. Finally, we'll click Save Changes. Now that we've saved the changes, we can move on to the ID verification. Here we will click Confirm and Run Checks. This will check the customer information against its database, which records whether they are involved in any anti-money laundering, financial crime, a politically exposed person, and many other things. Here we can see the results return that they are all good and we can continue with the process. Now let's move on and create a case for this client. Here I move to the Cases tab and I go and click the blue button, Create New Case. For this client, I'm going to offer them a first-time buy or a purchase-only product. We're going to assume the purchase price is 200,000, their deposit is 30,000, leaving a loan amount of 170,000. Let's click Continue. Here we can see the client that we're adding to the case. We can add other existing clients, or we can even add new clients as well. However, we will just move on with this only client. We've already shown this client the verbal disclosure document, so no need to confirm it again, and we can move forward and create the case. Once we create the case, we're taken to the case overview page. Here we can see some case details that we've already entered. We can see some of the insurance products which are often offered to the customers by the brokers, as well as the mortgage products to generate extra income. Here we can see some protection insurance card. Here the broker will ask the customer whether they're interested in life insurance or critical illness cover, as well as general insurance cover such as home insurance. We can also see some outstanding tasks that the broker must complete in order to process the application. These are measured in the blockchain and the smart contract with the compliance gates. Let's move on and add some more case details. First, let's add a property to be purchased. If I click here in the Property tab and click Add New Property, first I can select a property address. I'm going to select this flat in London. Property location is England and Wales. We agreed that the purchase price would be 200,000. The valuation is 200,000 and that source was by the client. We'll assume that the tenure is a freehold, that the property is going to be a primary residence, that the client does not intend to run this business as a property. Property is a business as they are not a landlord. It is of course a flat, but it's not above a commercial premises, part of an affordable home ownership scheme. We're going to assume the property has not been converted in the last 10 years, and fill out some more information about the property itself. Perfect. Once we've finished that, we'll click Save Changes and add the property to our case. Next, we can move on and add some preferences of the client. Let's say this customer prefers to have a 25-year term mortgage. We'll add that into the system, and then we can also add a repayment method. They also want to have a repayment rather than an interest-only mortgage. Then the broker will ask the customer a series of more questions to understand their preferences as to what their mortgage product they would like. For the purposes of demo, I'm going to select no for all of these. These are used later on to compare to the actual mortgage product sourced to make sure that there is alignment between what was sourced and what was preferred by the customer. At the end of the preference details, I'll click this blue button to save them to the case. Next up, the broker needs to ensure that he has seen all clients on the case face-to-face for compliance and the ID verification. We're going to assume that the broker has seen the customer face-to-face and click Save Changes. Great. Now we can go ahead and start sourcing our mortgage product. Let's go over to the Products tab and click Source Mortgages. Here we can see from previously entered information that we're looking to buy a standard residential product to buy at a purchase price of $200,000 with a deposit of $30,000, leaving a loan required of $170,000 over a term of 25 years. If we choose, we can add some more basic filters to this product to narrow down our criteria, provide a more accurate product. We can also choose how the broker wishes to return those results in the UI. For now, we will leave these and just source a basic mortgage product. Here we can see a list of all the products that meet our criteria. The broker will then walk these through with the customer and choose an appropriate one to add to the case. Let's select the one at the top, which is here by lender Al Ryan Bank, with an initial period of 14 months and providing a true cost over this period of $13,000. I click on this product, I can see more product details. These details include interest rates, detailed descriptions, product notes, procuration fee details, which is the commission paid to the broker on the completion of the mortgage property by the lender, and much more information. Let's save this to the case. Once the product's been saved to the case, we can now go ahead and generate an illustration. When we generate an illustration, we have to confirm the fees. We have the product fee selected by the mortgage, and also the advisor fees, which will be paid by the borrower to the broker on behalf of their services. This is all agreed upon, we can go ahead and download the illustration. This is also known as an ESIS, or a European Standard Information Sheet. Here it is saved locally. It is also saved to the Documents tab. If we click here to look at the ESIS, we can see it provides a detailed information sheet about the mortgage product that was selected. The customer can use this to compare to other similar mortgage products and make sure they understand what they're getting themselves into with the loan. As you can see here, there is an illustrative repayment table which shows exactly the breakdown of the costs incurred of the loan. If the broker believes that this is the right choice for the customer, they can go ahead and make the recommendation. The customer then has the opportunity to look through the ESIS sheet and decide whether they accept it or not. If they accept it, then the broker can go ahead and confirm that they have seen and understood the recommendation and mark the recommendation as accepted. Now we can go ahead to the Overview tab and see what remaining tasks there are. We can see the additional recommendation details required, so let's go ahead and do that now. Here in the suitability report, or the reasons why letter, the broker has to fill in a detailed account of why they recommend this product to the customer. Here I'm just going to put in dummy data, but they will give details on the rationale of the term of the mortgage and the affordability, which will be used in hindsight by the broker to justify why it was a good choice at the time for the customer. Once I've entered that information, I can go ahead and click Save Changes. Then if I refresh the page, I should now have all my compliance criteria met, and I should be able to generate a suitability report. Here we can see the Publish Report button is now available. If I click Publish Report, it generates a suitability report and saves the document to the case. Here we can see the reasons why a letter has been saved to the documents and will be stored in the Documents tab. The next step is for the broker to go to the lender and provide the mortgage application. If the lender agrees to provide the mortgage application, they will provide the broker with an offer letter. The broker then adds the offer letter to the product to leave one record of transaction. Let's assume some dummy data for now. Here I'd add an thesis, select offer letter for this client and for the product we sourced. Add in an application date and upload the document. Here you can see the offer letter has been added to the case documents. The last thing to do is submit the case to the regulating firm, in this case EMBS. This completes the case and allows the broker to be paid by the regulating firm. Thank you for watching the demo. This is the end of our presentation. Hope you enjoyed it.